Election day fast approaching. Voters in 10 states are preparing to vote on statewide ballot initiatives related to abortion access.
Arizona is one of those 10 states, and ABC News correspondent Elizabeth Schulze traveled there to speak with Arizona residents that will make that critical decision.
As a couple, we never thought we'd have to make a decision to get an abortion together.
At 18 weeks pregnant, Kristen and Dave Gambardella found themselves driving from their home in Tucson, Arizona, to a Planned Parenthood in New Mexico after routine testing showed a devastating result.
The doctor was looking through everything and then saw an indicator and looked at me with tears in her eyes, and she said, "I'm concerned." They told us it was really a guaranteed short life full of pain and surgeries and constant medical care.
They made the agonizing decision to end the pregnancy. Arizona bans abortion after 15 weeks, except for medical emergencies endangering the life of a mother. Kristen didn't qualify for that exception.
I think about those days having our baby in my belly and wanting to, cherish those last moments with her. And instead of being able to just do that, we had to figure out a rental car, an Airbnb.
I couldn't even go in the building. I just had to sit with the protesters outside.
On November 5th, voters in Arizona and in 9 other states across the country will directly decide on ballot initiatives to expand abortion rights. In Florida, Missouri, and South Dakota, voters could reverse total or near total bans.
We ended Roe v. Wade.
As former President Trump has repeatedly shifted his position on abortion, saying it's up to the states, Vice President Harris is centering her campaign on restoring reproductive rights, hopeful it will drive turnout in critical battlegrounds like Arizona.
So Arizona, we need to fight this battle on every front.
We met up with volunteers for the grassroots campaign behind Arizona's ballot measure.
Are you going to support Prop 139?
Yeah.
If it passes, it would enshrine the right to an abortion in the state's constitution until fetal viability around 24 weeks.
I've been an active voter, but I've never been involved in an event where there were so many passionate volunteers. I tell you, this struck a nerve.
In every state where abortion has been on the ballot since the end of Roe v. Wade, the abortion rights position has won. Cindy Dahlgren is a spokesperson for the campaign opposing Arizona's ballot measure.
The choice really in November is not between abortion or no abortion. There's a limit at 15 weeks, and we have a very broad exemption of a medical emergency.
Yet there are still instances where women find out in their second trimester after 15 weeks that their fetus isn't viable, or women who were victims of rape or incest after 15 weeks cannot have an abortion in the state of Arizona.
Well, those victims here in Arizona have up to 15 weeks to make that decision to get an abortion if they choose.
As a doctor, what is the significance of 15 weeks?
It's an arbitrary line in the sand.
Dr. Misha Pangasa is an OBGYN at one of just 9 clinics still performing abortions in Arizona. She's advocating in favor of the ballot initiative.
Pregnancy is complicated, and decisions at various stages are hard. And I am the one there helping support them. And what I wish that our government would do is just let me.
Kristen and Dave are still hoping to have more children as they push for expanded abortion access so families like theirs can get the care they need in their home state.
I don't want this experience for anyone else. I don't want it for the next generation.
You said you think about it every day still.
Yeah. I sit with our daughter, Ash, she's on my desk, so I think about it every day.
Such an emotional decision for so many families. Elizabeth Schulze here joining us. We keep hearing these stories of families, of couples, of women who find themselves in these life-threatening circumstances that are unable to get the care that they need. I'm curious, though, how often is that actually happening?
Right, and there's a new ProPublica report out today about a woman in Texas who they say was denied care, ended up dying because she couldn't get the abortion that she needed in time. And, the doctors we talk to say this is happening more than people realize, because the reality of these bans is that they are vague in the way that they're written. So a lot of doctors, whether it's in states like Texas or in Arizona, aren't really sure what kind of care they should be providing. Anti-abortion advocates say, well, it's so rare, these are exceptions. But when we talk to Kristen and Dave, when you talk to that family, they say even if we are the exception, it's not a reason for us to have been denied the care that we really needed in that moment for the decision that was best for our own family.
So what happens next if these measures do pass?
You know, nothing here is going to be immediate. It's not like if voters do overwhelmingly vote to expand abortion rights, which is what a lot of the polls suggest and what we've seen in past elections. It's not like all of a sudden access is restored. Some of the anti-abortion groups are preparing for legal challenges in court to those decisions, which is why it's also very critical in this election that you think about voters are keeping in mind down ballot races, because what we've seen in states is that it's not just at the highest level, at the top of the ticket. It is those state Supreme Court justices or local elected officials who are often enforcing some of these decisions around reproductive care.
Yeah, so it's not going to be just a one-night answer for everything.
A long battle ahead and such a fragmented landscape with these bans all across the country.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze, you'll be in Arizona on election night.
We will be there.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.